Since my blog focuses on spirituality, it will always reflect the truth as I perceive and feel it in my soul. I understand that there may be differences of opinion, but I am sharing my truth. If someone sees life through a different lens, I will agree to disagree. I am a proponent of equal human rights because I believe that this new paradigm aligns closely with spirituality and equal justice. Since most governing systems use politics, they cannot be as pure as spirituality and impartial justice. Therefore, no governing system should claim to be spiritual and pure. This is why I believe all religious beliefs should stick to spirituality and stop meddling with political systems. We are endowed with free will, a sense of autonomy, and human qualities like compassion, forgiveness, sacrifice, and love, all genetically ingrained to function in our allotted time. This places significant responsibility on individuals. We need to become aware and free from political influences in our spiritual matters. We should learn to live and let live, avoiding actions that rob others of love. We should refrain from doing to others what we wouldn't want done to us or our loved ones. If you are born into a religious family or are a person who likes to worship and do good, good for you. If you want to pray, then pray, because if you believe it helps you, it is worth it. However, don't put others down or be prejudicial and discriminate against them just because they don't believe in God the way you do. As human beings, it is in our nature to have differences of opinion, but we are not yet evolved enough to claim that we know everything there is to know. We must simply accept that we are evolving entities in the process of evolution. By respecting each other's spiritual sides, we can avoid acting like animals, as we have done throughout history and even in our present time. We have been killing each other regardless of our religious and social evolution. My question is, why can't we evolve beyond that place to the next step? Why does our politics of belonging trump even nature's call for humanity to work together? Our religions faltered when they strayed from spirituality by allowing the politics of belonging to rule the groups, leading to the departure of spirituality from the spiritual system. They disregarded equal human rights yet still claimed to be the only path to God. Our nationalism also faltered when it prioritized the politics of belonging over justice systems and spiritual values. Remember, spirituality should be the essence of religions, and justice systems are crucial for any successful nation because they keep politics of prejudice and discrimination in check. We are still evolving to learn that equal justice is desired by every one of us as individuals. Democratic values can influence and teach our groups by promoting equality. Back to the atom of autonomy. Since we all carry it individually, we must learn more about it and use it in our living years. A long time ago, I took my kids to McDonald's. They used to get a coloring sheet with their kids' meals. It had a maze, a picture, and another picture with dots and numbers. If you could read the numbers, you could connect the dots to create that picture and then color it. I believe there is a picture for all of us, but the numbers are not there. So, the individual has to connect the dots to create their own picture. The real picture is there, but if you are influenced by your sense of belonging to your groups, you may not allow yourself to follow what you were supposed to be according to your hidden picture. You will try to follow what you were taught by your groups at a tender age, influenced by your parents, families, or even nations and religions, not realizing that this has the potential to rob you of happiness and contentment. Remember, you cannot afford to sacrifice your most important treasure, being mortal. Yes, in a mortal life, logically, happiness and contentment should be the most important things one can achieve. You may be successful according to social standards, but if you feel no joy from within despite your achievements, it may be because of the clash between your influences and your nature. Being healthy and happy is already a success and a blessing. But what I am talking about is not just physical health. It encompasses all kinds of health: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. The same goes for happiness and contentment, deep, soul-touching happiness. Success is not about what you leave behind, but what you take with you, like the satisfaction of being able to reciprocate directly with God. This can help you live a life free from the fear of hell and the greed for heaven. Health, happiness, success. If you are fortunate enough to become a CEO who understands the political influences of belonging groups, you will know personal mortality in a way that helps you find the right personal picture. This is essential for living a healthy, happy, and successful life despite its mortal nature. One may lose personal happiness, contentment, and eventually even health by following trends of the time, era, and society they are born in. If they try to create a picture based on influences that do not align with their nature, they may feel successful but lack happiness and health. This is a personal choice and prerogative, but as a mortal being, you cannot sacrifice your whole life for others' approval. Nor can you spend your whole life trying to fit in, impress, or die trying to be admired by them. Why do we do that and pay a hefty price for it? It is a phenomenon we all need to understand and overcome because it can lead individuals to harm themselves. Like anorexia, bulimia, or even becoming suicide bombers who kill innocent people who had nothing to do with their pain. Imagine giving a child a picture with no numbers. They would still have to connect the dots to create a picture but would rely on their imagination. This can be fun, but if they are unable to create even an imaginary picture, they will get frustrated, complicating the problem for both the child and society. That is why there are so many frustrated people in the world. Our politics of belonging is an emotional phenomenon of humanity. It is so powerful that, even being educated, we as individuals don't care about our health and happiness regardless of our awareness of our mortal nature. We all have an idea in our minds of how we would like our lives to be, but we must understand the impact of our influences first. We should use not only our personal imagination but be aware of our influences and mortal nature simultaneously before connecting the dots. We can also rely on outside sources like advice from our parents or teachers. If we are fortunate and wise enough, we can figure out a pretty good picture to be happy. If not, we run the risk of messing it up, to the point that we may spend our lives trying to fix it according to our desires while living in discontentment and unhappiness, only to find out in the end that Father Time spares no one. A less than perfect picture can create personal struggles that can last a lifetime. This frustration can cause adults to act like children and mess up the whole picture or, even worse, walk away from it all. This is a serious problem connected to an out-of-control sense of belonging. Patience and accepting nature as a guide is the key to avoiding this situation. You also need to have faith in the picture you were blessed with. Examine whether your desires are causing you frustration. Usually, desires are related to societal influences or wanting to be like someone you admire. You need to accept that nature plays a strong role in your life and everyone has a different life story by nature. I wrote a blog a long time ago about the ladder of horizon and the river of time. It was about inspiration along with appreciation. Picture yourself climbing an invisible ladder with many people above you. You work hard, climbing one step at a time, too slow for your liking but still moving upward. Eventually, no matter what strategy you use or how hard you try, you just can't climb any further. You get frustrated and angry like a child, but still no progress. This is where you lose happiness regardless of how high you have already climbed. When you reach this point of lost happiness, it's time to look down and see how many millions of people want to be where you are, but you are still unhappy. It's not about how high you have climbed, it's your competitive and unaware nature. Being unaware of mortality is part of our ingrained knowledge. If you need to run your computer, remember what a computer and data are and what you are. You live within the computer, which is full of data but has its expiry date. To be comfortable, you will have to come to terms with this. Look up and compare yourself with the people above you for inspiration so you don't give up and continue climbing. Then look down to compare yourself with the people below you so you can appreciate your blessings. Especially if you want to stay sane in these politically influential times. As a CEO, you should know that the biggest kicker for being on that ladder is not the climbing, because no matter how high you climb, you will eventually fall off because of your mortality. Your mortal nature can teach you about your mortality and help you make decisions from a mortal perspective. If everyone desired the same thing, how would society function? It would be strange if everyone became a police officer, lawyer, or doctor. Who would build the houses? Simply put, it is not practical. If everyone achieved what they think most people would want to be successfully happy, in reality, it is not so. Many successful people, according to the majority, should be happy, but that is not the case. That is why I believe happiness and contentment of the individual should be the measuring scale regardless of the profession. Being successful in one area, like finance, building big muscles, setting world records in sports, or being extremely religious, is not good enough for a mortal CEO. Remember, without happiness or health, there is no success. Politically savvy belonging groups always benefit from individual sacrifices, especially CEOs who don't prioritize personal happiness and health for the sake of belonging. Don't sacrifice yourself for anyone, but stay true to yourself, be healthy, happy, and content. That's what being mortal is all about. As a mortal, you cannot sacrifice your whole life for others' approval, impressing or being admired by them. You should realize how big a price you pay. Being mortal is your most important treasure. By recognizing this, you can gain personal happiness, contentment, and health, and ultimately, you will find peace of mind and be a truly successful mortal CEO.